It is estimated that about 63 million people in India have significant hearing loss. A survey by the World Health Organization said that about 5 million children in India suffer from hearing loss. This is in 2016. So you can imagine the numbers must have really gone up by now. I want you to share a story of a beneficiary that may have really moved you, or something that we'd all love to hear. I'm sure there are many beneficiaries, of course.
I'll share one. This is a story of Rahul. So Rahul completed his schooling, special schooling in Mumbai. He joined us after completing the schooling. And when he joined, we started with the foundation year. Rahul was very focused because he is the eldest and he has a younger sibling who himself was deaf. So he had someone who will be following him. Coming from very marginalized background because Rahul's mother was a housewife and father was a mere driver. तो वो foundation year किया उसने, फिर उसने 11th teach से किया, and then we started preparing him for 12th standard. 12th, he secured 64% in boards because he was super hardworking. As soon as he done his 12th, COVID आ गया, 2020. So during COVID, he started pursuing BCom in our institute. It was complete lockdown.
Correct.
There was no money at home. So they decided, because it was virtual, they moved to their native. During COVID, what we did is for all the students, our students are only visual learners. Awaaz nahi ja rahi. So it's not audio video, it's only video. And they were using phone, which has this much screen. Some were using shared screen. After learning their struggle in 3 months, हमने सारे बच्चों, we had 115 students. हमने सारे बच्चों को we got laptops and tabs. Second, wherever student wanted internet support, वो भले recharge हो या Wi-Fi setup हो, we supported our students with those. So Rahul went to native, वो पढ़ने लगा वहाँ पर. पढ़ते पढ़ते कोविड में अचानक से उसकी मम्मी की तबीयत खराब हो गई. एंड तब पता चला कि हर मदर गॉट डायग्नोज विद कैंसर, माउथ कैंसर. तो वो और डिस्टर्ब हो गए पूरी फैमिली. सो वो सिर्फ सातारा से बॉम्बे हॉस्पिटल एंड टाटा हॉस्पिटल, दे जस्ट स्टार्टेड ओनली टू इलाज के लिए कम्युनिकेट करते थे, बट बच्चा डिस्टर्ब रहने लग गया. एंड देन वी स्टार्टेड काउंसलिंग हिम. आफ्टर दैट काउंसलिंग सेशन, रिपीटेड काउंसलिंग सेशन, वो बच्चा में फिर से कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया. एंड देन ही स्टार्टेड लर्निंग. ही वॉज ऑन ट्रैक अगेन, आई वुड से. He completed his graduation during that COVID period and he secured again 60+% into that final year of graduation. Before that, he got an internship into a pay nearby करके एक fintech firm है. Saturday, Sunday, whenever they used to have work, he used to be there. Because he knew that he wants to prove himself and he knew that ये opportunity उसको full time convert करनी है. And he made sure that after this 6 months internship, he converted that into a full time.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
That is where he was able to take care of his mother and then moved his entire family to Mumbai, back to Mumbai. Third, as an eldest brother, he made sure कि उसका भाई जो है वो भी पढ़ाई करे. So after doing 10th, his brother joined us.
So tell me, so is this a paid program that you have, or how is it? Is it totally free for somebody who wants to join it?
The philosophy is we don't get anything in free. And we do not want to make them into a wrong belief that if they would get anything for free. If families are really struggling, they submit certain documents. So 70% of our beneficiaries or families, they submit a document from collector's office, which is an income proof. And based on that, there's a scholarship given to them. And 30% pay a fee of nominal fee of 1,000 rupees per month. So that is only 1% of our cost that we incur.
I like this philosophy that nothing is free, and also what it does, it gives dignity to the person who is also receiving that service because they feel that they actually made that effort to act. And also it keeps them stuck to it because when you pay, you are more serious about it.
As a proof of work to this philosophy is our attendance. So our last year, we closed our attendance at 88%. This year, the target is 95%. So that's the strong attendance in Delhi and Mumbai, both.
In your opinion, how is the government doing in this entire area of disabilities, and especially in terms of speech and hearing impaired now? What policies, changes can they bring to have better impact?
one of the schemes that government had brought in on the early intervention to identify whether the child has a hearing loss or not is very important, because parents keep waiting that child will speak, but at the end child is cannot hear only, so then they cannot speak. But when it comes to education or higher education, nothing very concrete steps have been taken up. I think there's huge demand or scope to work on that. Few things, I think with NIOS board, the government is trying to prepare a curriculum into very much sign language, and there is a digital dictionary, Indian Sign Language Dictionary, that is being prepared to standardize the sign language. I think these are some 2-3 major steps the government has taken up, which will help them. But I think there's some more which I see is more collaboration can be done when in terms of higher education of these students.
I understand it's a higher education space, but what else do they need to do to it?
We come from schooling standpoint. One is standardizing the schooling across, be it a regular or a special school. So we have to raise the bar of the special school. That has to be a mandate that students must study mainstream subjects, and teachers have to be trained for that. So one is that, because that's how we will make students competent to take up further education. Secondly, there is a scheme under Rights for Person with Disability Act, which says 5% reservation for any student into colleges or universities, any student with disability. The missing part is teachers, the support system. I think it could be a little reverse, where I'll say 5% reservation for teachers who can teach students with disability, because if we have the support system, students would automatically get into that. It is not just about the speech and hearing impaired students here, it is across disability. If we have teachers or mechanism in school, universities and colleges, accessibility increases.
This thing is not just, I think, not just at the university level, and I'm thinking that it should be a mandate to include them even at the school level.
True.
Right? But how does it work in sync with the normal class is something that only a regulation, a policy, it needs much thought, I think. It's not something that is so simple.
The simplest thing to do it here is you have a separate class, 2 different class, where students without disability and with disability are sitting in 2 different classes.
Yes.
But the rest of the thing, be it a sport, be it a canteen, be it everything, is done by together. Even a project is done together. So I think these are some simple steps that one can take up just to make sure that inclusion start happening at a very early stage. Because what we are doing at the moment, it is very, I think still it is very tactical when it comes to, we are doing the inclusion at the end of the stage, when it comes to the employment.
So do you have any plans in your further work, where you said Premier Institute, that to also have a certification for teachers who have passed through your sign language course, so that, like you said, there should be 5% of the teachers who are able to, understand sign language?
We just started this year. So all the teachers who does sign language course here, they get certified by us, and that's where they become eligible for taking any other as a specialized teacher across any other university or college.
That's very good. So, and is this certification accredited?
At the moment, it's at the institute level, and then we're moving towards accreditation it.
If somebody was listening to this, they would say, this is so interesting. And even if they wanted to help, they may not know where to begin. What can people do?
We started teach through volunteering. So I think volunteering is the best option to understand what one can offer to an organization. Secondly, is if you're able to understand our purpose, that this is my expertise and I can deliver my expertise to this purpose, then that could solve. From training these students standpoint, for making them ready for employment, or giving them connect to just for the employment.
If somebody wanted to volunteer, say, with you, how would they do it?
So it's just simple that they go on a website. There's a form for volunteering. Giving you an example, there are 10 senior people who give 1 hour every week on coaching and mentoring them, our students. They are chief financial officer of a company or a director of a company. So there are corporates who are employing our candidates plus doing employee volunteering with us, taking some part of soft skills training or hard skills training in the institute.
But they also have to learn sign language for that.
So there's an interpreter.
What do you say for thank you?
How you say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aman.
Welcome.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on the show. Inclusion and acceptance require conscious and proactive effort. Companies, corporates, service providers, the government all have to be willing to invest financial aid and resources to support it. But other than this, there is a need for parents to wholly accept their child just as he or she is. And for that, there is a need for role models to look up to. Now, I urge each one of you to think about how you can educate, support, raise awareness, and raise acceptance of not just the speech and hearing impaired, but all disabled people in general, so that they can become active members of our society. On that note, namaste, and see you again next time on In Pursuit Of.